We are living single. Ooh, in a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girl. Keep your head up, boy. Keep your head up. That's right.
And we're back again on this series of Black Love. Greetings to all my melanin kings and queens out there for tuning in. I'm your host, Bodie Bodes.
And I'm Nikki.
And this is UnCuT RaW podcast, where we discuss issues that are hardly ever addressed in today's society. And to start things off, we want to give you guys the vibes of the day.
And what's
And I'll go ahead, honey. I'm sorry, I cut you
now I
off.
was gonna say, what's that vibe of the day for today?
I know, right? Don't make decisions when you don't feel self assured. Choices made from feelings like fear, lack, or loneliness may leave you unhappy. Step back, find what your soul needs, get clear on the why, then the how will unfold. Abundance flows when you understand your worth, love grows when you appreciate who you are, support shows up when you believe in who you are destined to be. Love that one. And that's the vibes of the day.
Yes.
That was
That
good.
one is really, really, really nice.
I know, right?
It kind of, like I always say, it always, for some odd reason, the vibes of the days always tie into, what segment we're on.
Right.
So, just so you guys know, we're back again with our Black Love Matters series, but it's what is it? Singles edition.
Yep, it is.
That's what we're doing today. Let's see here.
All you single people out there.
Yes, tune in, listen up. For some reason, well, let me not say for some reason.
Mhm.
So far, I want to say thank you to those that have recorded with us.
Yes.
Our LGBT edition has been hitting off. I've been getting messages upon messages about how people appreciate it. Our marriage one has been, lifting off as well.
Yep.
We do have our engaged one that we were working on. I'm not sure which will be out first, this one or the engaged one.
Right.
But I like what I see. I like the awareness that it's bringing to
And the
everyone
positive
because
energies and good, all that good stuff.
absolutely, because that's what we need as Black people, because they don't want to see us winning.
Nope.
Who says that again? They don't want to see it. That's Kodak.
Yeah.
They don't want to see us win. I had to remember who sung that song. They don't want to see us winning. They don't want to see Black love thriving. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, anybody can love what they love, but we just solely talking about Black love, and it matters.
Definitely, man. And and just want to just throw something in there, leave us black folks alone. You know what I'm saying? Just leave us the hell alone. We are just trying to live and be damn great, like everyone else in the damn human race. You know what I'm saying? So just let us be great and let's love up on each other. That's the case.
All right. So today we have our guest, my lovely sissy Chrissy,
Hello.
and
What's going on?
brother Eddie from high school.
What's good, bro?
Hello, blessings, blessings.
That's
Blessings.
it.
So I know y'all, this not kind of on topic, but it was a little disturbing. I know you guys seen Ahmad. Yesterday I did my walk, 2.23 miles for Ahmad. Like, what did y'all think about that?
That's
Ladies
the
first.
truth. Oh, sorry.
Take turns,
Thank you.
guys.
So, no, that situation is crazy because you get warnings all the time. Don't walk around at night. Be careful where you're going.
Mhm.
Don't walk around armed. Just things like that. And the fact that he was completely innocent. It's a Sunday midday, and somebody's hunting you down like an animal. That was terrible. And I watched the video, and I couldn't even watch it again. I was trying to see something else in there, but I couldn't watch it again. I realized that it was traumatizing,
And
and I
did
can't
you
imagine how other Black men feel.
right? Did you see at the end, once he got that last shot, he was trying to run off.
Yep, he sure was.
Yeah.
He literally
Eddie?
fought for his life.
To me, I think it makes you think the times we're living in. It's almost
Mhm.
scary. And for the ones that actually don't have a child, it makes you think twice on whether you want to bring a child into this world, because the times we're living in. But
Absolutely.
like Kristin says, you have to think twice now before you do anything. If you go jogging in the neighborhood, it could be broad daylight. You have no idea what circumstances you can run into.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the times we're living in. You have to be prepared. You have to double think before
That's
you act.
very, very true, man. You right about that. It's crazy because I just finished having a discussion about this with someone, and they was like, "I'm trying to make them aware to say this is still going on. Now they were saying back then in those times, maybe I want to say 60s, 70s was way worse. But
Mhm.
even if it's way worse, look at now compared 20 years later, still we still dealing with this foolishness. You telling me you can't go out to a convenience store with a hoodie on without looking suspicious, like what Trayvon Martin went through. You telling me I can't sell CDs around the corner? Okay, you tell me it's wrong, but don't put me on no ground and have me on a chokehold and I can't fucking breathe. And I'm telling you I can't breathe. Now is all of a sudden I have my hands up, telling you I ain't got nothing in my hand. I'm not doing nothing, but I still get shot. Are you
Mhm.
telling? Are you freaking serious? I'm not gonna go along with it, honey boo. But you know how I get, because this kind of stuff to our people is wrong. Put a freaking scale up and put us on there compared to these rest of these freaking crackers. And I'll say it, Caucasians, Neanderthals, we're gonna flicking call them. I don't care. You got suckers shooting up in movie theaters, shooting up in schools, and these suckers get arrested and nothing judged on them. But yet you got people who just running in the broad daylight, as Brother Eddie said. But yet get shot for no flicky reason because you suspected I was breaking in houses in your neighborhood. You can't be damn serious, bro. Nah, this whole system is mess flicking up. That's why I can't stand the fact that all we can do is march and hope that they make justice and make this right. It still will make no difference. Unless freaking what Malcolm X said, isn't it get the time that you need to stop marching and get freaking serious. Because I don't know what's gonna happen next year, next years later, 20 years later, with our next generation of children growing up. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Mercy.
stop on that.
You said a mouthful.
That's why I
You
said
sure
enough.
did.
I said enough. I'm just trying to wake people the hell up. I said enough. I'm done.
You said a mouthful, and I don't want to dabble into it, but I did see on Twitter this one girl had said, how come they're bringing so much broadcasting to Black Lives Matters when it comes to men, but how come they're not bringing any like broadcast to when women are being physically, mentally, emotionally abused? Why aren't they bringing that to the light? I don't know if sis was hurt or whatever it is. I mean, it's a great topic that we can talk on,
Mhm.
but they basically said they're only supporting black women. So I don't know. Everybody is biased at the end of the day. Like, not me, I say biased. Everyone has their
Mhm.
own opinions at the end of the day. But like we're all black, we're all human, and we all deserve to be treated like human beings. That's
Exactly.
just what I believe.
And it ain't
Mhm.
just, and then you know what? It ain't just a mod. Even just another brother, light skin, and that's another one too. We need to talk about on another episode if it ever comes around. Colorism, because it seems like every time it comes to dark and light skin, that's a freaking big topic deal. People make a big issue out of. Are you freaking serious? You're still damn colored to these freaking people. It doesn't matter. I could be light skinned and bleach freaking. I don't know what the freaking word is. To the next brother, darker than flicking me dark chocolate. Freaking don't care. They still see us as colored folks. It does not matter. You see Jason, whatever his name, Jason Reed, I think that was the brother's name. I can't remember exactly. But he got shot like, what, 13 times by policemen. He was on a Facebook Live running away from these people. And they shot him down. For whatever reason they were chasing him. It shouldn't have been that serious. You could just just damn cuff this brother up. That's it, if that was that serious. It's like, what are y'all trained for in these police academies for?
And
Well,
he trained. He actually served for the country. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Man,
well, I guess that's gonna have to be another segment that we do
Yes,
maybe for
ma'am.
Juneteenth on the 19th of June. Maybe that's where we'll have to pull that out. We'll see. But I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted our people to be aware that there is a I walk for a mod or I run.
Yeah.
Hashtag it. Do your 2.23 miles. Even though his birthday is done, you can absolutely still do it
Yes.
at the end of the day and
Mhm.
just do what you need to do. So
Mhm.
with that being said,
Mhm.
we're just gonna jump into our Black Love Matters
Yes.
segment. So I'm gonna ask, and whoever wants to go first, I'm pretty sure Eddie is gonna let Chrissy go because he's a gentleman, a very nice gentleman,
That's what's up.
and we'll go from there. So just to start off things, this is Black Love Matters. Let me see. What does love mean to you?
Oof. Um, Selflessness. Is that a word? I would say so. Yeah.
It's a word to us. Go ahead, honey.
I was saying it's being selfless. You want the best for someone. You, what can I say? It's a verb. It's an action word. You need to show that you love someone. You support them in their endeavors. You always do what's best for them, even if that means having to step away from them. I'll start by saying that.
So
You,
that's
Eddie?
Eddie, go ahead. What does love mean to you? Eddie on mute. He don't even.
That's called being a gentleman.
There you go.
I would say that love can mean so much, but at the same time, it could mean so little. It all depends. I mean, like Christy was saying, you want what's best. You want what's best, obviously, for the person that you're dealing with and you're loving, but also you have to be honest. You have to be honest. You have to be just upfront with that person. And like I say, it could be so much, meaning that you could be affectionate, you could actions, but then it could be something as so small as just a gesture, showing that you care. You follow me? So it can mean a lot, but it could also mean a little.
I hear y'all. I love the answers.
Definitely.
So, who influenced the way you see love?
Oof. Your surroundings for sure, whether that's your siblings, your parents, your friends. Say, for instance, I see love with my friends with showing support to each other, always having each other's backs. My parents, I can see it in their relationship and the way that they interact with each other, showing respect towards each other. And yeah.
So that's who influenced you on, like, even in a romantic sense. Those are the people that you look around to show you exactly like what love is, basically. Well, not what love is, or you know what I mean, what you see it as.
Yeah, I would say I would start there. Of course, in your own relationships, when you form that, you build on that as well. And, you kind of, you learn in those experiences what love is truly, what love truly is. Like, you're about to talk about exes and stuff. So even like with an ex, once we knew that things weren't going the right way, showing love in that situation was splitting up or, things like that. I'll just start with that.
I hear you. I hear you. Because it always, I believe it starts with self-love. Self-love is how you
Absolutely.
love someone. Eddie, who influenced you? Who influenced the way you see love today?
I would say my family.
Oh, he went mute again by accident, y'all.
I would say my family.
Mm-hmm.
My family, for the simple fact that not no one in particular, but I would start with my grandmother, my father, my sister, just my family in general,
Mm-hmm.
because they taught me. I would say they taught me how to love. I used to look around, and we grew up. I wouldn't say poor, but we weren't wealthy either. But long story short, I would see people with a lot of money around, things that I would see, and I would say to myself, "Wow, they have all the money in the world. They must not have any problems." But I grew up, and as I got older, I started to realize that when you have family, some people are not fortunate to have a big family, but I was rich in a sense because I had a huge family.
That's
Those were the ones
right.
that taught me how to love. My father was the one that taught me how to love myself as a young man. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say my family was the biggest influence, and then obviously once I got into a relationship, um, I thought that I was in love. I think I would call it lust, and
Mm.
rejection as well. I dealt
Mm-hmm.
with rejection. It makes you think to yourself, "Hey, I'm not good enough." That's where the self love comes in. You have to love
Absolutely.
yourself first
Yes.
in order to love someone else the right way.
You said a mouthful, a
Sure
whole
did.
mouthful. That
That's
is
how it's
my
supposed to be.
mantra. That's my mantra for, like, even now being in a relationship. I have to love myself so he can see how I love me. That way he can love me the way I love me. And a lot of
Hmm.
people don't see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But because we all want to be loved our own way. Um, and now, I read my books here and there. I do a little dabble into psychology just to see how certain things are, but definitely self-love. When a person see that you so, like, you love yourself so much and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, I mean, it already triggers them like, damn, I gotta be on beat when it comes to really loving them because
And
they're not gonna accept that piece of low shittiness
and I,
ass love.
Child,
and I would
you
also
know,
say love. Love is like my definition. One word for love would be not giving up, because no matter what you do, whether it's you're doing a podcast, you're a cosmetologist, you're a barber, whatever you love, you're not gonna give up on. Someone
mhm.
can come to you and tell you, hey, give that up, you're not going to make it anywhere, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if you love it, you don't give up on it. So,
Yeah.
Very true.
I'm gonna go
Very
back to
true.
the self-love comment too, because I realized that, okay, yeah, I was looking for all these influences, but I didn't realize that I didn't know how to love myself. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's just like been years and years and years of just learning through those experiences. And now it's so much better. And it's like now you realize that you have to, you demand respect for yourself. You see when somebody else loves you because you know what love is, and you know how yourself, your worth and how you should be loved anyway.
Hmm.
So yeah.
That's what's up. I love that.
Hmm. What about you, Bodie Bo?
Oh,
Dang,
me?
Bodie Bones, you
I
got
got
our
put on the
guest.
spot. Okay,
Yeah,
Chrissy.
you
Uh-huh.
got
For
you
your
got our
heart.
guest having to ask
Okay,
you.
I'm the host. I'm getting put on spot, but love to me, like we all been saying, it's self love. It all starts within you. Um, it all even like a how to say like a endless cycle right now what we're dealing with. Some people go through traumatic experiences. Some people don't
Mhm.
have their parents, mother and father in their lives. They have to look towards other people for that love. And my
Mm,
thing is, at the end of the day, when they take that power away from you, and it's like even if it's dealing with you getting raped or you being traumatized, beaten, any kind of form, it's
Mhm.
you can't let that person hold that power against you. You gotta take that and forgive them, and not just for them, but for yourself. We always heard that term in so many ways from many people and throughout our lives. So you just gotta realize that you know what, when you love yourself, and there's someone out there who sees that you love yourself to the point they're gonna start to accept that and realize that you know what, I see this person love themselves, and I can do the same for them too. Shoot, you'd be surprised. Them people would risk, they would give you their all.
Mhm.
Sometimes you could love that person or vice versa. I mean, so when I'm saying in a more broken term, you could love that person still, but they can still love you more than you love them. But
Mhm.
love is a strange, mystic,
It
powerful.
sure is.
However it is, it's the universal language of them all. So hey, all I can tell you it's very deep in depth, and it's something that still can be talked about in so many different ways and languages. So my
Absolutely.
definition on it. So, but thanks for putting me on the spot, though, Chris.
You're welcome,
absolutely.
Jody.
So just to jump back into things, let me
Okay,
see here
go
with you
ahead,
guys.
go ahead, my love.
Since you guys aren't a couple, it's a bit different now because so far we've been doing like couples and asking them how did you meet, blase
Mhm.
blase, but we're not gonna do it that way.
No, no.
So my question to you guys, seeing that you guys are single or whatever your status
And ready to
may be,
mingle.
right?
Uh-huh.
What what are some deal breakers that you have for any relationship that you enter in right now? Some deal
Oof.
breakers.
This one.
Dishonesty
Ooh,
Hello.
ooh, ooh, ooh.
on any level. I don't like the little white lies because they all add up to one big lie. It
Oh,
just keeps going and going. It's a snowball effect. And
girl.
I just don't think that you can move forward with dishonesty.
Eddie.
would say
Some.
obviously obviously dishonesty,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say that communication plays a huge part. If
Uh-huh.
if there's no communication, if you can't feel comfortable enough to come to me
Hmm.
and speak to me, whether it's good or bad, or just pull me to the side, I feel like communication plays a huge role. So, if I was to take that step with someone else, it would communication would play a major role.
So let me twist it for you. So what if potential bae could communicate, but potential bae cannot comprehend? What happens?
Oof.
I mean, what you do when people enter your life, you don't try to change them. You try to make them better. If
Okay.
anything, you don't change them. There's gonna be some things where I'm gonna lag, and there's gonna be certain things where she's gonna lag. I don't expect her
Mhm.
to be perfect. If she can't comprehend, I'm just gonna teach her. I'm not gonna teach her in a way where I'm gonna make her feel less intelligent.
Right.
You know, like I say, iron sharpens iron. There's gonna be certain spots where she's gonna sharpen up my knife for me, and vice versa. But communication, if she doesn't comprehend, I'll try to break it down as easy understood as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And does that go the same way for if she doesn't communicate, or will you not enter into anything with someone that does not communicate?
I mean, I would say that at the age that I am now, which is 27, I wouldn't put myself in that predicament now. Being through the experience that I've experienced, I'm not. Before, I used to look at certain people and I used to maybe believe in them more than they believed in themselves. Now I'm actually looking at the picture for what it is.
That's
If
right.
they're showing me something, I'm saying, hey, that's what they are. I'm not trying to paint another picture. So I wouldn't put myself in that predicament. If she's not communicating or willing to communicate or comprehend, I mean, I guess it's best if we both move on or just remain friends.
That's right.
Experience is the greatest teacher of them all. Yup. That's
Hold on, y'all. I want y'all to hear a little bit Badu. And just hold on.
We getting some music, y'all.
I lied. I said yes.
Can y'all hear?
Yes.
Mhm.
Loud and
That's
clear.
right. And for you, Queen Badu, to sing words that I wrote. And I don't think you've ever done that again. Like everything else you've written yourself. I'm so honored. I'm so honored. I'm gonna keep this thing going. I'm gonna play the exact same song. And I'll tell you why. We were in New York.
And this is just support. This is what I mean by, you know what I mean? To what we were saying, people coming together, our Black folks coming together, and just showing support to each other. Because I felt like with this one, they tried to make it like a battle, but they didn't realize these are two Black queens that are coming together to put on a unity for all of us to come together. So boom. Anyways, back to our topic, y'all. I just wanted y'all to hear Badu and Jill. Anyways, Butterball, spit out your questions because you ain't been talking too much, so go ahead.
Okay. I've been like just yapping like a damn parrot just a couple minutes ago. Girl, don't do it. Yeah, this is a little game question quiz for y'all, Eddie and Chrissy. But let's see. There are only two categories. Chrissy is a gentleman and gangster for you, and for Eddie, it's a lady and a vixen. And to finish off that question, that you can choose from. Both are rich, successful, goal-oriented, but the other one is legal and the other is illegal. And what I mean by that, they make their money illegally. Yep. Okay. So have your best interests at heart, but one is a cheater and a liar. Which one would you settle with?
You gotta run that back, Ricky.
Not a problem. I'll take my time and read it slower for you.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, there are only two categories. Chrissy is a gentleman and gangster for you, and Eddie is a lady and a vixen that you can choose
so
from.
hold on. So you're splitting the two. It's a
It's the same
gangster Christy.
Yeah.
Christy is a gangster and a gentleman.
Yes.
And then Eddie is a vixen, basically about it, and a woman, basically. Or
Yeah. I know what's the word for the opposite word for gentleman for a woman? What they call it? Classy. That's it. Classy.
okay.
Classy lady. That's it. That you can choose from. They're both are rich, successful, goal oriented. One makes their money legally, the other makes it illegally. They have their best interests at heart for you, but one of them is a liar and a cheater. Which one would you settle with?
Is this
Which
for
one is?
Kristen or me?
Well, either one could go. It don't matter. But Chrissy, if you want to answer first, go right ahead. It don't matter.
Go ahead, Eddie.
I would say I'm not gonna deal with no cheater or no liar. That's out the window. So yeah, I would take the lady. I'm not with what I experienced. I don't want to put myself in that circumstance again. Like I told you. Therefore, if she cheats, she lies. How are you gonna know? If she looks at you in your eyes and tell you I love you, how you know whether to believe it or not? If she tells you, hey, I want to have your kids, I want to just birth your kids, no one else. How would you believe that? So everything would be a lie from the get-go.
Tell them.
Yep, yep. All right, Chrissy, what about you?
Absolutely. I mean, the same. Why would I go for anything else? I mean, yeah, of course. Like I said before, you need the honesty. I don't want anybody skipping around on me. Doesn't matter how much money you make. Doesn't matter.
Now, you both answered good, but let me give you my answer on that question.
Cool.
I'll let you know that both of y'all answers was totally wrong on that one because the vixen and gangster doesn't cheat or lie. It's the gentleman and the classy lady. Don't let appearances sometimes, and that's a learning lesson. Just to let y'all know. I know we all go through experiences, like Eddie said. I'm gonna fall on that one, but let me tell you something. Sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover. And plus, they both, the vixen and gangsters, make their money legally. The gentleman and classy lady make their money illegally. You can't judge a book by its cover, and you can't always assume stuff. Sometimes it's always good to just say dabble, as they say, dabble a little foot in the water before you jump fully into the pool or whatever you want to say it.
Well, like Kendrick said, remember Kendrick said, if anyone listened to our episode, the marriage edition, he said, if you are single, please mingle as much as you can. That does not mean you're sleeping with the person or anything. Mingle, get to know people. You just don't know who you'll find out there. Like, I get, you know what I mean? We're gonna, like, I saw what you were doing, Kurt, because gentleman and lady sounded nice. I get it. But you just don't know what is really behind closed doors. So
boom, there you go. Exactly.
Got you.
There you go.
Oof.
There you go.
Snap.
But I mean, hey, listen, at the end of the day, true. We don't want to put that narrative out there for y'all to say, nah, no, not for y'all too, but anyone who's listening out there, we don't want to make it seem like, hey, go for the gangs and the vixen. They're going to treat you right. No, they sometimes will be full of crap themselves. So I'm going to leave it at that. But hey, y'all did a good job. I loved it. Love it. Yep. And with you too, Nikki, follow on that. Thank you very much.
All right, go ahead with your question.
And all right then, so all right, can you both, this for both of y'all, can you be ambitious but still be down to earth? Or at least can that person still be ambitious and still down to earth? For y'all, at least.
Absolutely. You split your time wisely, I would say. You know, your ambition is a priority, but I would think that your partner be a priority as well. That's why you wouldn't want anybody that is, you know, they're just weigh you down. They can pull their own weight. Yeah. So I think it's absolutely fine to balance those two.
What about you, Eddie?
I don't see no problem in balancing. That's what life is about, balancing things, trying to find out how to balance things. And I believe that you can be ambitious and down to earth. I don't think that even though you run into certain obstacles and experiences in life, I don't think that should change you as a person. I think that if you're a down to earth person, you should remain that, no matter what you go through in life. And I feel like no matter if you're in a relationship, you're single, whatever your situation may be, your drive should always be on 100. You should never. I've heard certain people go and say, hey, you know, I think I'm gonna focus on myself. I need some space. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna focus on myself. And I respect that. I respect that. But at the same time, if you're in love with someone and you're not gonna give up on this person, you have to understand that when you're in the hospital and your heart is beating, it goes up and down. There's gonna be ups and downs in that relationship. But ambition, that's within. If you're in a relationship and you say, I was doing better when I was without you, maybe you have to do some self-assurance. It might not be that person that you're with. Maybe the lack of drive is wrong. You follow me? But ambitious, that starts within, and you always remain who you were.
That's what's up. Damn right. I love that. Y'all are awesome.
I really like that.
Do you want me to do another question, honey?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm the parrot for this evening.
We both are. So stop.
But question number 2. Do you think vulnerability is a weak trait to display if you're a strong individual?
Not at all.
Damn, take that.
Not at all.
So, Nikki, you already know. I hate crying in front of people.
Oh,
They think that I don't
She
cry,
does, guys.
period.
oh man.
But they think that I don't cry because I used to think, based on just my observation of, like, I would say my family members, I don't see them being very affectionate or emotional or anything like that. I just didn't grow up in that environment at all. So
Okay.
seeing that now, being vulnerable is so strong.
Yeah.
It shows so much strength. You don't do that as a weak person. You usually try to deflect and, try to blame things on others, and you just do everything you can to push everything away and to just not show your vulnerable side. So that's
You're, s-
definitely a sign of strength.
you're still human at the end of the day. You're right.
Right.
We're all
Right.
human. We're not
Right.
robots. We're not some perfect beings. We always gotta be trying to please somebody else.
Yep. Yep.
What about you, Eddie?
So,
What about you on that one?
I agree with what you're saying, my brother. We're all human, and I feel like we all have this invisible glass. We all carry around this invisible glass, and everyone. Some people's glasses are bigger than others, meaning they can take more. Some their glass is gonna fill up quicker than others. But I mean, it's okay with being vulnerable. I would say if you're being vulnerable around the right people.
Right.
Yeah.
At the right moment around the right people.
Speak.
Because some people do tend to come around and they feed off that energy. You don't know if they
Yes.
say Nikki's crying, and they're feeding off of that energy. Some people would like to see you in that predicament.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Everyone has their limits. Your glass is gonna overfill one day, and maybe you need to spill some of that water out and get some things off of your chest. But it's like you say, we're all human as long as you're doing it around the right person.
That's true.
Well, just to go back to what Ayana says, she just says ensure that your cup is full, because if your cup is not full, how can you pour out into someone else? So you out here sitting up here pouring out to people. How can you know what I mean? How can your cup is just gonna be simply empty?
And
And
there's
that
gonna
goes
come
back.
a point. There will come a point where you go ahead and you pour, and once you look down, you don't have nothing to offer no one, and not yourself even.
There you go.
Yep.
You have to do it the right way. You have to do it the right way.
I totally agree.
And
agree.
that is what you call proper planning.
The 5 P's: proper planning prevents poor performance.
Boom! There you go.
My favorite.
there you go.
She said it. All right now.
So
you want to go
I got
ahead?
a question now.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, she went
So-
check now.
So, in saying now, like, I know y'all are single, but in the past, or even when you proceed into getting into a relationship, can you forgive and let go of the past?
You can if you want to. It's work. I would say day in and day out, based on what you've experienced in your past, but absolutely.
So you can forgive and forget. So say, like, for example, a guy treated you like crap or whatever, but then comes a lovely guy that is nice, presentable, and he's just treating you so well, but you just, you know what I mean? You're still thinking of the past. Like, you know how it's women and men too get that condition, like, we like, oh my gosh, this person is too nice. I don't know if this is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. So can you really forgive the past and really let that go so you can move forward?
Well, yeah, because that's what you're supposed to do, I believe, in the time that you're single. That's why you don't hop from one relationship to another back to back, because you don't take time to,
Hello.
you don't take time to heal and to understand, what even happened. It's like a whirlwind. You break up and then you're just like, what happened? And then you pick back up on those habits in your new relationship because you did not deal with that. So that's why you use that single time wisely. It's not a bad thing.
What about you, Eddie?
I think.
Ooh, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I sorry to cut you out. Listen, y'all. She playing the jam. I'm so sorry, y'all. Y'all. This is that phone. Can y'all agree?
Oh,
Yes,
we all
ma'am.
can agree.
That motherfucking Badu. You hear that? Peace and blessings manifesting. All right. I'm sorry, Eddie. Go ahead.
Man, I do.
Again.
May you repeat the question, please?
The question was, can you forgive and let go of the past?
Yeah, I would say the old Eddie couldn't. But as you get older, you learn. I guess with
Mm-hmm.
I guess with time comes not for everyone, but with
Mm-hmm.
time comes wisdom, comes knowledge, understanding.
Yes.
Hmm.
Like I said before, it was hard for me to forgive and forget
Yep.
because I'm the type of person where I wear my heart on my sleeve. I tend to love, and my love is
Mm-mm-mm.
genuine.
Your
So,
sign.
but one thing that I learned
There
is
she
that
goes.
you can't expect people to love you how you love them.
Oof.
That's true.
Therefore, I would say where I'm at now, yeah, I wouldn't let the past interfere or hinder anything that I have going on because that's the past.
Yeah.
But I
I
believe that you
agree.
can move on.
I agree
What's your
myself.
sign, by the way, Eddie?
Leo.
Boom.
Woo!
Mm-mm-mm.
They both Leos.
Boom. 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 I could definitely relate with you though, King. Definitely, man, because I've been in that headspace before. The old me, as you say,
Absolutely.
comes wisdom and comes experience and knowledge and
Understanding.
yep, and understanding. Thank you very much for that. You just gotta sometimes come to terms and just be like, you know what? I can't let this hinder over me any longer. Because any future relationships that come, if I bring that same energy from the past, it's only gonna mess up my future, and I cannot have
That's
that.
toxic,
My
man.
one thing that I'll share
Hmm.
with you guys, my father has always told me, "Hey
Yeah.
son, you notice when you go to like the casino and these horses or let's say these little greyhound dogs are getting ready to race. If you ever
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
notice,
Yeah.
they put these collars over their neck, and that collar there, it only allows them to see straight.
Mm.
Why doesn't that collar let them see through the sides of their eyes, their peripherals? Because you have to stay focused, look straight. The
Boom.
past is something that's behind you.
Yep.
Mm.
Once it's done, there's nothing that I mean you can go back and try to play with it if you like. I wouldn't suggest that. But the past is behind you. You have to look up and just tunnel vision. Keep
Y-
looking straight.
That's it. And my thing is too, I'm following up with that. You can't keep running back to it because it only gonna make it worse for you. You wanna move on. You're just gonna keep going back to the same energy that was not even that's not gonna take you nowhere. It's only gonna keep bringing you back to the same place, and you're gonna be miserable. And at the end of the day, it's just repeating the same cycle over and over again. So just like you said, stay focused and keep your head in the damn same direction. Keep your ass moving. The hell? That's it.
Right.
Shoot.
I got a question
Go
for
ahead,
you
man.
guys. What are your honest views about marriage?
Oof.
Kristen, know that wolf.
Because you have good questions. Y'all have great questions.
Oh, thank you, honey.
My honest feelings on marriage. It's not something that you take lightly. It's not something that you jump into just based on emotions and your, current feelings. It is a contract, and you want to make sure that you make plans to enter into a contract with somebody that you trust and that you see
Sis,
your future with.
sis, contract as in a covenant or like contract as in like paper or
Both.
Mhm.
because
It's both. You sign papers at the courthouse. It's a legal binding agreement as well. That's why divorce is such a long process, but also a covenant. You form a covenant with each other and with God, or whoever who you base your religion on, whatever. But
Yeah.
right.
it's both.
Okay.
So seeing that it is both, you really don't take that lightly.
Mm.
I agree. Eddie.
Mhm.
I always try to consider myself, or I try to consider myself as a youngin' with an old soul. I
Mm.
believe I believe in marriage how they used to do it back in the day, old school marriage. There's people that tend to be in a relationship, let's say 15, 20 years, never have been married. They get married, and that relationship goes down the drain.
Mhm.
Mhm.
After 20 years of not being married, on that 21st year, that's where things take a left for some people. But I do believe in finding that right person because it's going to be the same person. You marry that person, it's going to be the same person every day. You wake up, you look to your right or your left. Oh, you again? Yep. me again. It's gonna be the same person.
Nope.
You have to actually take your time. Take your time in finding that. Sometimes what you think you want, you necessarily don't need. So that person that you think you want or you wanted, that's not the person that you needed. But I'm all for marriage. I believe that I would like to spend the rest of my life with someone.
Right.
Just one person in particular, travel, experience, just enjoy life.
That's what's up.
And just twist it, that'll be that'll probably be my last question, Bodie Bones, because
No
I know you
problem.
got some more. If you fail at marriage, will you try again in the future? If your marriage were to fail and it's just something that you couldn't do anymore, or whatever the situation is, would you try again?
I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to because if you fall on the floor, when you first learned how to walk, you would fall. You would have to get back up in
There
order
you
to
go.
achieve that goal. I've always told myself, let me just put this out here. My previous relationship, because we are single. My previous relationship, I swore up and down that she would be the last. I say, hey, if you go, I don't think I'm gonna be sure. I don't think I'm gonna know how to love again because we were that close. At least I thought we were that close. But you have to say to yourself, especially if that person gives up on you, gets up and go, you have to say to yourself, I have to keep going. It'll be selfish of yourself to say, you know what, they moved on with life, and you keep that burden on your chest, that weight on your shoulders, that chip on your shoulders. You have to.
Mhm.
It's funny you say that because I remember my last relationship, my last, real serious relationship. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get married anymore. My parents really thought something was wrong with me. I kept saying it over and over, and I was like, just that because we were gearing towards marriage, and it just sucked to see that fall apart. So I was like, you know what? What's the point of trying? I just really wasn't in a good headspace. But
Yeah.
over time, you think about it and you reflect, and you just realize that probably just wasn't the best situation for you, and you really just, not to say dodge the bullet, because it wasn't a bad situation, but you have to move on and do what's best for you.
I agree. I totally
Yup.
agree. I'm all for marriage. I know it takes time. I know sometimes, us as women, we think our biological time is clicking or ticking, I should say. But
Hmm.
baby, when because I'm not a heavy like pastor, and I'm not a pastor, but I do believe in tradition, you know what I mean, and I want to take things serious,
Hmm.
stuff like that, before God, because God means a lot to me. So my thing is, when shit start hitting the fan, my
Hmm.
G, you better not be trying to walk out and stuff. You better sit your ass in the next room and you better figure out how we're gonna work on it. I don't solely need to be the only person trying to find a solution. You as well need to be finding a solution so that we can work on our problems in the first place. So I just, it's not roses and patty cakes and all that type of stuff. People feel like, okay, once they get engaged or whatever it is, or even when they're dating for like a couple of months or like a year or two, you got to jump up and go get married and stuff. And half of the times, you don't even be knowing that person half the time. Like the real
Right.
true, the real true them for real, for real.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Right.
So take
Right.
heed, because that ain't something to be taken lightly.
And I'm gonna
Yeah.
give in a prime example on that one. Like Nikki's, I'm gonna follow up with that. Cause let me see, I ain't putting no names out in this damn podcast before I get backlash on my ass. Um, one person I know back home, of course, in Nassau, Bahamas, that's where I'm from. Person did rush into marriage. It was an old high school mate of theirs. Apparently, they met years later, and all of a sudden now, within what 3 4 months, they get married. Like what? I don't care if this person was your freaking friend or whoever. If they had a crush on you, you don't even know how this person is now to this day. It could be 10 years later. You don't even still you know this person. And from what I understand, y'all wasn't even talking like that. So you still supposed to know the person before you go rushing the damn broom or whatever they call the phrase, jumping the broom to
Hmm.
go spend the rest of your life with this person. Now, from what I'm hearing, you sounding miserable every time you turn around. There's always some type of complaint. Again, I'll call no names, but hey, you stick with the person. Now you learn, and now you know. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not wishing on it on them. But I wouldn't be surprised if divorce papers get slapped up on the table.
Oy, oy.
And again, I'm gonna follow with uh just like what Christy said too. Or no, not Chris. Sorry, but Nikki said you gotta also be mindful if you want to work on something. Don't allow yourself to get distracted with other stuff, because if there's a problem between y'all two, don't go getting up in somebody else's business or trying to fix something with someone else and your own shit is not fixed at home. Next thing you know, you end up with having someone bringing a baby to your doorstep and leaving it there, and they freaking wondering where the hell this child come from. Okay then, I'm gonna leave it at that.
I want to
And
go back to
just
even the analogy about the blinders, because you asked, would you try again after marriage? But I think once you get into your marriage, you want to have those blinders on to say, the end goal is to, be together forever. So
make it work.
Yep.
yeah.
Just like anybody that's out there, I'm reading a book now. It's called Make It Work by Tony A. Gaskins. That's where I got some of these questions from that really make you think, because I myself read it right now because I'm still learning things, and also on a psychology level, doing some work when it comes to your inner child healing as well. That plays a big role when you're single, in a relationship, when you're engaged, when you're married, and when you're in an LGBT relationship as well, even though, they try to classify them as something else. However, that all ties in. When you get time, research what inner childhood is. That's something, once you start really getting in tune with it and being able to heal it, that's when you really learn how to grow and prosper in these relationships with yourself and those around you.
Have you guys ever heard of the saying, hurt people hurt people?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I know a couple of people that hurt people. I went through that last year.
So therefore, when you guys ask the question and you say, would you try if marriage doesn't work? And I say you have to. At one point in time, the old Eddie would say, hey, I'm only loving you, and if this doesn't work out, I'll never be in a relationship no more. But how can I fix my mouth to say such a thing when I deserve to live as well? You follow me? If this marriage doesn't work, and I still want to continue to live life, I have to try. I have to try. Someone's gonna cherish me. Someone's gonna appreciate me. But you have to give that shot. But I say hurt people for the simple fact that you could meet someone and their childhood let's say their childhood was a troubling childhood, or they experienced certain things that you haven't experienced. You follow me? Those people can come in. You have to be careful, because those people can come in, take your energy, and run.
Yep.
And that's all people like to be, is sucking people energy, and don't nobody got time for that. But Bodie Bowles, you got any more questions? Because I think I got the gist of what I wanted to put out into the world.
Oh, I got one more question on my end. So, what do you guys think for that person that you may be dating or talking to, whatever, is their body or temple perfect in your eyes, or do you look for acknowledgement from others for that? Because it seems like most people nowadays be trying to say, "Oh, bro, man, she fine. You think she fine?" Or sis, you think he's okay? You know how that go. Trying to do they look good for me? Do you think I should? That type of stuff.
Looks are not everything.
There you go.
I'm not talking to anybody now, but the person I was talking to, he was a good looking guy. Anybody would say, okay, yeah, he's good looking. But he was just not all there. He didn't know how to be respectful. I think everyone kind of just gassed him up in a way that he didn't even learn how to actually bring true value into a relationship. He thought that his looks were enough, and that just isn't it. So I'm just saying, or people will compliment you and you think, okay, you're the shit, you don't have anything to work on, and you can just go out and act any type of way because you know that they're attracted to you.
Ego.
But that fades quickly.
Yep.
Real quickly.
That's that ego. What about you, Eddie?
Hold on, before Eddie speaks,
okay.
That's just like, my G, what you bringing to the table? What are you only bringing? Your dick, your look? That's
you damn
it.
right, girl. Damn right, girl. I just joke.
That's all you bringing to the table?
You damn right, girl.
Dick is everywhere.
have to say that I don't care what people think. I don't care what people think. As long as you're beautiful in my eyes,
Boom.
that's all that matters. And I feel like in due time, that's the thing about experiencing and actually growing with someone, being in a relationship and
Mhm.
living life with that person. You get to see the changes. No one stays the same. You're gonna gain weight, you're gonna lose weight, you're gonna have
Mhm.
short hair, you're gonna have long hair. But that's the beautiful thing about sharing life with someone.
Mhm.
I just personally think that as long as you're that in my eyes, I try to have a sense of humor and I'm not a gorilla 24/7. I do have a sense of humor and I try to enjoy life. I might come to you and say, babe, you have the most beautifulest elbows I've ever seen in my life.
There you go. Shoot.
And now you're tripping, you're laughing, you're like, what do you mean? Elbows? Yes, baby, elbows. They're so soft. Something like that just to make you smile. As long as you're it in my eyes, that's all that matters.
That's what's up, man. I love that. Love that. That's so good. Clicky, where you find this dude from? That's what I'm talking about. Where these kings at, dog? Like, I hope y'all listening into this shit. There's some jewels up in this bitch.
High school, I met Eddie. I forgot what class it was, but the same way, like he's like saying about the elbows, that's the
Yeah,
shit
man.
he was saying back in high school. Like, you know,
What?
funny, always laughing, cracking on Miss Brown. The lady didn't even like me. I heard word on the streets was she didn't like me after I went to go visit the school or something like that.
Mhm.
But
On the
we
streets.
had a good time in high school.
I
I mean,
can't.
that's how it was.
You always got. What was it? A teacher or something? Or
Yeah, it was a big
it always them
big,
damn. It's always one of them teachers, man. Freaking A.
we probably needed some love.
Okay, for real. Because I had a math teacher like that in school too. Like, don't get me wrong, she was fine as tea. But bitch, you got a stinking problem. If your mind ain't laying down, reach out to one of our brothers. I sure you want some youngin. I ain't leaving it down. Stop the shit.
Miss Brown wasn't fine, but
Oh God, I can't.
she wasn't fine.
I can't.
This was a really nice discussion, and like
Yeah,
I hope
man.
it reaches people that are out there that are single to slow down, learn to love yourself, so you're
Yes.
not out here catching a baby mama. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
anything is wrong with. I'm not bashing baby mamas at all. I'm not. Absolutely not. I'm not bashing baby mamas.
It's just making it aware. That's all.
Well, my thing is, because guess what? All people, they may not want to be married. And at the end of the day, let me not even say baby mama. Let me just say, so that you're not going around sleeping with women or whatever it is, and then you kind of fall into some pussy that you ain't want to stay with, and then that becomes the mother of your child, or some type
Vice
of dick
versa.
exactly came. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean?
There you go.
Take your time.
Yes.
Take your time, because the people you reproduce with, them kids will be a reflection of all that and more, first and foremost. And the person you are dating or whatever it is, like, y'all become a reflection of y'all become a reflection of each other. And then sometimes, you know, you catch on to some of their toxic ways and stuff like that. So you just gotta really be careful. Take time to learn how to self-heal, so you're not so absorbed into another person.
Exactly.
And damn mingle. Just mingle,
Yeah,
damn it.
mingle.
Jesus. What the freaking
Have
hell wrong?
fun.
Yeah, I
I
saw.
kinda-
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You finish up.
I kind of wish I did. Like, I mean, I did, but I was living in Atlanta, and I was a little scared because, you know, Atlanta's a little gay city. So, no offense to gay people, I love them, but no, they got a lot of undercovers out there, and I was very afraid. And they have a lot of HIV and AIDS. Not to say I was going to be sleeping with anybody, but it was just like, I don't know, but.
And it's all about just taking your time, man. Like, there's this video I saw, and trying to go too long with it. But this dude was on Instagram talking about, man, what happened to the days when you just could just take a gal out, or even a dude out, or whatever the case may be, vice versa, and friggin' open the door, go to a movie, take a dinner, know this person. If you both feel like, okay, we'll go for a second date. This person's cool, you know. We mingle, we interact with each other real well. You know, yeah, I think you go on a second date with them. That kind of stuff. Take your flicking time and stop jumping in the next flicking hotel flicking room with someone. Then you end up with a damn child or two with this person. There you go.
Or believing that's another thing. Or believing when y'all in that talking phase, like we had a discussion, Chrissy. Remember we were talking about that when you're in that talking phase where you think that person has to, like, if they don't text you, you get upset. No, they have a life and you better have a life, baby. They don't have to text you. Because y'all just talking. That's something I had to learn too.
Exactly.
Because I used to be mad when so-and-so ain't text me back like, oh, what you doing? Why you ain't texting me back? And that same shit got me into some shit.
Yeah, because they don't owe you a single thing. They don't owe you a text back, nothing.
Yeah.
If they want to get to know you, they will. If not, then
that's very true.
That's it.
Mentality.
Silence is an answer too. Yep.
That ain't your man. That ain't your old lady. That's
Damn
just a
flicking right.
person
Go about your business.
that you had a little spark with, but don't linger on with that spark because that spark can go at any moment.
For real, that's
right.
true. Yeah.
That's
Boom.
right.
Just for some last remarks,
Yes.
I just found in the book, it says, number one, do not lie. You don't lie to those you love. Lies will hurt you before they help you. Trust your intuition and don't focus on the petty.
Yep.
Know what's important and what isn't important in like a relationship. And also, like how we were talking about a deal breaker. This is what he says. A deal breaker can be forgiven, but not taken for granted. So anything you want to close out on, Bodabos?
You know, love is love. Like I said in my previous episodes, ain't nothing more precious than black love. And I say this singles edition was a real fun and interesting conversation.
Yes, goodbye. Goodbye. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for working with us.
You were awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for working with us through the technical difficulties and whatnot.
They don't want this episode to be great.
Clearly.
They don't want black love to be great. That's okay.
Boom.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Well, power to the people. Wakanda forever. Like
My God, not today. You know what?
Night, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Check it